Yes, guys, and welcome back to another opposition preview. We're here for the big one, North London derby. Of course, tomorrow, Tottenham Stadium. Oh boy, it's that fixture, man, that comes round. You know, you look before every single season, the season starts, you always pinpoint this fixture, North London derby, man. And of course, we're here to preview it. We're joined by two Arsenal fans. A Tottenham fan will be joining us, guys. He's running a bit late. But let's introduce everyone. Starting with the Tottenham side, we've got Harry from, of course, Scarfsy's Spurs Talk. How you doing, my guy? Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward to getting into this because I think one thing we can all agree on is this is a massive North London derby tomorrow, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. So it should be a good one. It should be a good one for the neutral as well. So yeah, really looking forward to previewing it.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And you can find Harry's channel, of course, pin comment. Go over there, drop in a sub if you haven't already, guys.
Thank you.
It'd be greatly appreciated over there. He does some great content there. So we're joined by, of course, the regulars. We've got Seb. How you doing, man? You look forward to this game, of course?
Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, nervous, of course, because you always are when it comes to these games. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I must admit, I hate these games. I really do. Yeah. Especially at their place. But listen, bring it on.
I think simple as that, man. Yeah. Simple as that. So, yeah, Rory, bro, how you feeling, man?
Same as Seb, really. Just excited. I use this terminology a lot, really. Confident but nervous at the same time. It's pretty much every game from now to the end of the season. Nervous but confident. But yeah, it should be good. It really should be. And yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. So yeah, of course, we're gonna go through the preview, gonna go through our thoughts, and then towards the end we do a combined 11 as well, based on this season. So that should be good. But make sure you leave your comments down below, hit like buttons up, people, and leave your predictions. But let's get right into it. I'm gonna start, of course, with Harry. We're gonna start off his team first. Obviously, Postecoglou, first season as Tottenham manager. You obviously brought in some new players like James Maddison. Obviously, you know, brought in players. You signed players like Udolce from Udinese, Vicario in goal. I think have been exceptional for you lot this season. But what's been your overall assessment of Postecoglou's first season so far, man?
I've been very happy considering where we were last summer when we lost Harry Kane. In terms of the actual statistic was there that without his goal assists or any goal contribution would have finished 17th and stayed up on goal difference. Now that is a really worrying statistic for us Spurs fans at the time. So I think we've come a long way. It's a drop-off, of course, in terms of where we were in October, but overall, the bigger picture, if you said to me at the start of the season, before Postecoglou was appointed, even when he was appointed, to be in a top four battle, even if we don't get it towards the end of the season, I would have absolutely taken it. So I think we've done very well. I think he's got a lot to learn, though, to be honest with you, because I think we're playing the same way that he did in Scotland, in Japan. Comment already says there in terms of the high line, there's some cases where you just can't do that, and zonal markings for me has become a bit of an issue. Obviously, we know how strong you are from set pieces, corners in particular, so that will be interesting to see how that pans out tomorrow. But overall, it's been very good. It's got a lot to learn, but the progress is very clear to see. Already equaling our points tally of last season. Season not done yet. Played exciting football. So I've been very happy personally. I think there are some Spurs fans out there who aren't happy, but I generally think they have to give their head a wobble because, I think he's really struggled to find a fault in what he's doing right now.
Would you say, obviously, because the managers you've had in the past, I remember when you had Mourinho, Conte, these two, you saw what they did with their other clubs and obviously didn't do that great with you guys. I know Mourinho got you to a final and he got sacked, of course, before. But would you say this has been, in terms of excitement levels around Tottenham, one of the best managers that you've had in a while?
Yeah, well, it's the most excited I've been since we reached the Champions League final, and I think that does say something under those Pochettino days. In terms of Mourinho and Conte, there were times you're getting results and you celebrate it like you would, but you couldn't honestly say that you sat there enjoying the 90 minutes. It was, score a goal, get behind the ball, and try and grind it out. And it was doing that against teams like Fulham, Burnley, Sheffield United, and it just didn't quite sit right with a lot of people. So yeah, we're really enjoyable to watch right now. And even when you don't get the results, like a prime example is when we lose 4-1 earlier in the season to Chelsea, in terms of a lot went wrong with a couple of players getting injured, a couple of players getting sent off. We lost our head. But overall, it was a really enjoyable game, and fans at the end of the game were clapping. And I can't ever say that ever, about when we've lost 4-1 before. So it says something, recognise that they're on the right path. But no, I think it's been really good for me.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And obviously, looking at this game, I want to go back to everyone on the panel as well. Go back to the Emirates game very quickly, because we know when it comes to North London derby, I think the form goes out the window. No matter what players you got, no matter what manager we have, where we are on the league tables, the form goes out the window. It's North London derby we're talking about. But we go back to the game at the Emirates this season. It was a 2-2 draw. Very, very interesting game. I mean, at times I thought we played poor, but I honestly think Spurs would have been happy. I mean, I'll come to you first, Harry. What's your thoughts come to the Emirates this season and getting like a 2-2 draw?
Yeah, overall, I was happy with it, to be honest with you. Again, it's one of those games you go into, and I think you're absolutely spot on in terms of, and it even applies to tomorrow in terms of form. Doesn't matter completely, but it's not really one of those top factors, because you just don't know what can happen in 90 minutes. You get the home crowd gets behind you. And at the time, that game earlier in the season, the Emirates 2-2, both teams are in good form. It was really interesting. I thought it was a top encounter that 1 minute it looked like that you were going to win, it looked like we could win, and overall point was probably fair for both teams. So I think it's a really enjoyable game. From a Spurs point of view, it's a bit frustrating. Obviously, Leo giving away the penalty, Romero's deflected shot, but overall, the draw was probably fair and we would have taken it. So really entertaining game, and I'd be happy if we could put out that kind of fight tomorrow, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, no, very well said, man. So I'll come to the Arsenal fans right now, about obviously that game at the Emirates. Was you disappointed that we didn't get the win? Because I know I certainly was. So I'll come to you first, Seb.
Yeah, I was, because listen, whenever you play Tottenham at the Emirates, we always expected to win, definitely. But if you actually look at the context of the things, we had no recognised left winger. We had Rice taken off at half time and Saka taken off during the game. So, and when I actually looked at the team news, I was actually really worried of that game. I was like, oh dear, we could actually come unstuck here. But if you actually go back to the game, I thought that first half we were brilliant. We should have scored more. But then that second half, as soon as we gave away that second goal, we were absolutely awful. And we were probably quite fortunate in the end to come out of there with a point. But we just had to take it due to the situations of what we had. That we had people missing. But, of course, and if we don't win the league, I'm not going to look back at that game. The games I'll look back on will be those Fulham games and those Aston Villa losses, and those will be the ones I look back on. But yeah, going back to the point, Arsenal have a chance to put it right tomorrow, because we're going to win the title. We have to be beating Spurs at least once and not losing to them at all in the season. We can't, because I remember back in the days when we were going for titles, we used to beat them all the time. Even if it meant drawing at their place, you take it. But now that we didn't win at our place, we got to beat them at theirs, and we have to win every single game now. And this weekend is massive. I think this is the biggest derby that in years and years, even bigger than the one a couple of seasons ago when it was like a top four decider. I even think it's bigger than that, because basically there's a lot on the line for us, and of course it's a derby. Form goes out the window. It's just basically who wants it more of the day.
Yeah, I'm
sure you're going to come into our thoughts very shortly.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll save the rest until then.
Yeah, no, facts as always, Seb. Before I move into Rory, we got my guy Robbie with us from Lily White Lane. Robbie, how you doing, man? And how you feeling about going into this game?
Yeah, not bad, Josh, mate. I do apologise about being late. I thought the show was
No
at 8.
worries.
I don't know why. I was sat there playing FIFA and I saw you sent me the link. I was like, oh, what's this? Not for another hour. I look on YouTube, I see True Goodness. I was like, what's going on here? But apologies about the lateness. How do I feel heading into the game? I'm nervous, to be honest. I was on an Arsenal channel last night, so was Harry, and I said I think Arsenal have been the best team in the Premier League this season in terms of the way that they play. And you haven't seen the likes of City and Liverpool as much as Arsenal tear teams apart in games. So I'm nervous about it. I'm always nervous. I think we're going to need a lot of things to go our way if we get a result tomorrow. I think the crowd's got to be the 12th man, and that could play a massive, massive part. First goal is crucial as well. I think if you lot score early, we could be in big trouble. We could be in big, big trouble because that crowd can quiet down. It will come down to ability on the pitch, and I think, to be honest, you've got a lot more of that than us. So it's going to be an interesting game. But cheers for having me on, Josh. Big up to Rory as well. Big up to everyone else on the panel. And yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, big up Robbie as always, my guy. It's always one of those ones, man. I was just saying to the lads, like, form goes out the window for these North London derbies for sure. And that's what makes it, the worst thing about it really is anything can happen. No matter. Yes, we're having a great season. I mean, even you just said it yourself. We've been one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Premier League this season, in terms of watching and all that. So it goes out the window, man. We have to be on it, and we have to have the right mentality for sure. But I'll come to you, Rory, bro. How are you feeling coming to this game? Of course, away at Tottenham. Obviously, we drew them this season 2-2. But what's your initial thoughts going into this game, man?
As I said, I'm a little bit nervous. Even if these lot were bottom of the league, I'd still be nervous because I'll be saying the same thing as I'm about to say now. Form does go out the window. In derbies, we saw obviously Everton the other night against Liverpool. They're fighting for their lives in the league. What did they do on Wednesday? They went and ended their title challenge. So anything can happen in these derbies. I would almost go far as saying this isn't just a derby. It isn't just hungry games and all of that BS. This is war right now because we're coming into this game needing a win. I mean, not just North London derby. We need to win every single game, but this game in particular, we come in to continue to apply pressure on Man City, whereas Tottenham are coming to their own yard and trying to end our title challenges. So, yeah, look, if we go and beat Tottenham, I think it could be crucial for our title credentials. I really do, because so far this season we have gone to these big away grounds and we haven't really picked up many decent results. You think back to Aston Villa away. That would have been a statement if we could have won because they went unbeaten at the time at home for 14 games straight. We didn't go there and win. We didn't beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I'm missing anyone else. Newcastle as well at the time was a game where I think we should have won. Yeah, you could have said we got robbed by VAR, but at the end of the day, we didn't really do enough to win that game. So, yeah, we need to turn this mentality around. And in London derbies in particular this season, we haven't been as good as we have been. I think we've only beaten Crystal Palace and West Ham, if I'm not mistaken, in London derbies this season. We've not beaten Tottenham, we've not beaten Chelsea. We did lose to West Ham at home. So, yeah, it's not going to be easy. We also lost to Fulham. Dropped 2 points at home and then we lost away from home. So, look, we've got to come into this game like we're not afraid, and I don't think we will go into this game with fear at all. We do know that this game does mean everything. Arteta obviously has experienced it himself multiple times, whereas Postecoglou's only had one London derby, and that was at the start of the season. I know we didn't win that game, but I think now Arsenal are full strength. We could fancy our chances like we did last season because if you think back to last season, we absolutely peppered Tottenham. We'd pretty much done them in the first half. I know Ramsdale pulled off a masterclass, but at the end of the day, it was just one of the most comfortable North London derbies I have watched. Like even Tottenham at their peak and arguably their worst team in decades, has still managed to put up a fight against Arsenal. But last season was arguably one of the most timid North London derby displays I've seen. But this season, you have made a lot of good progress, that you're going in the right direction. I just think a trophy would definitely make a statement. And I know it's, first season under Ange and it takes time. We'll see what he does next season, innit? And if he does succeed, then I guess you can say, right, he is up there in the history books of Tottenham, because a lot of, managers you've had have failed. So,
Yeah,
I'm confident for the game because of our North London derby pedigree. We have got a manager that knows what it means, and at the same time, I'm just thinking, oh God, if this backfires, I hate when you go into these sort of games with chest, arrogance. You bring it all with you, and then it backfires. It's horrible. So I'm trying to be objective with this one. I'm trying to remain level-headed, but it's just difficult to predict these sort of derby games. It really is. So we'll see what happens in it. I think we will win, but it is going to be a tight one. And all I'm going to say is, no matter where Tottenham are in the league, no matter where Arsenal are in the league, this is always a huge game, and it's only one of the best London derbies there is around, in my opinion. So,
for sure.
It's the best derby.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think it is. I think it is.
100%.
I think that's the only thing us and Spurs fans can actually agree on. It's the best derby in England.
I agree.
100%.
But spot on, Rory, bro. Seb, same to you, man. How do you see this game going? Away at Tottenham, we saw what happened last season. I know they had a different manager. Obviously, Postecoglou came to the Emirates already, got that 2-2 draw. How do you see this game going, personally, man?
It could either go one of two ways. We could either win quite comfortably, or they could shock us, because, like you said, anything is possible in a derby. Because there's two ways you can look at it. First of all, they've had no game in 2 weeks, so they'll be very fresh. Maybe that could be an advantage, or maybe we've got the momentum with us because we played 4 times since then and won 3 of them, and we're on a bit of a roll now. So maybe, because what you want going into a title race, you want rhythm, and we've actually got that behind us. So maybe we can bring that in, and I don't think there's any excuses for this, because we've got a full fit squad pretty much. So we really, really can't have any excuses if we mess this up. It will literally be who wants it more. It will just literally be as that. And I think Tottenham are pretty much full strength, apart from Madogue and Oliver Skip. I think you're pretty much full strength. No, Porro is back and Richarlison's back. So
is Porro back?
You should
I think so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I expect him to feature. So
Yeah, it should do.
Yeah, and I think the midfield battle is very key, because we've obviously got Partey, Rice and Odegaard, and they've got Basuma, Sarr and Maddison. And I think they're 2 very good midfields, and it will be key. That's where the game will be won. Yeah. And there is talk maybe that high line that Spurs play could suit us, because Ange has one way of playing, and we've seen that many times this season, and I really do think teams have sussed that out. However, you can also look at it this way, that with a pacey fullback of Porro, he is capable of getting back there and actually locking down whoever's on that left hand side. If it's Trossard, if it's Martinelli, if it's Jesus, he's capable of that. And also, I do fear if they're 2 centre backs and their midfield if are strong on the day, then we'll be in trouble, because they can lock it up. They're quick at also displaying balls. They're very strong. So And obviously, this is a game where tackles are going to be flying in, and Spurs will want to get their fans like the 12th man, because that's also going to play to their advantage, because that can do that. But what Arsenal just need to do, we just need to play our game, get our own basics right, defend properly, because they have got Son, Richarlison, Kuleveski, Werner if he's playing, who's quick. So I think if we are on our game and if we play like we have done the last few games, we should be all right. But if we just go back into making the same mistakes, all the bad habits that we have done over years against Spurs, we have actually and players losing their heads, then we're not going to win this game, and then that really will be title over, because we have to win this game. A draw is not good enough, because especially the way City are playing right now and the way they're bashing up teams and how they kick on usually this time of the season. There's a slim hope they could slip up 1. Are they going to slip up 2? No, absolutely not. So you have to win this game, and this is where the manager as well earns his money with his team selection and his tactics and his talks, team talks as well. Because this is all going to be very vital. And if Arsenal can repeat that performance like we did last season at their place, then we'll be all right. But if we play like if we play like how we did early in the season, just let them come at us and let them back into this game, then we're in trouble. And also, one other thing, these defenders need to be on their game and also need to be. And don't lose your cool, because in this derby, there's a lot of penalties we concede against us. And I'm sure Spurs can say the same about us. Penalties. We can't be having any of that if we conceding any of that. Can't be having it. Yes, I know Harry Kane's not there to bash them in, but still, none of that, because I get sick and tired when we make these rash challenges and we give away these pens. I do get tired of it, so that's not to happen this time.
I've just realised, by the way, how many penalties have they had this season? Is it like 1 or something?
I think it's 1. Yeah,
we haven't had a lot. We had 1 against Newcastle, I think, which Son scored. It is 1.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just 1.
Jesus.
But
since Harry Kane has left, no penalties.
Yeah. I think we just don't have that striker who's like clever and wins fouls. In terms of there's been a couple of times where it's been on the verge of a foul, but Postecoglou clearly believes in just get out, keep going, keep scoring. And I like that in a way, because you don't like to see people diving in that, but ultimately you need to do everything you can to win a game. So we haven't really been getting in those positions enough either. But that just shows you, without a physical striker, you just don't get in those positions to get those penalties.
Yeah, definitely. Seb, as you're saying, man, I thought, absolutely, spot on there. Couldn't really agree more with what you said there. But let me come to the Spurs lads right now. I'll start with you, Harry. Of course, massive miss for you guys when I look into this game is your left back, of course, Dolce. I think he's been absolutely quality for you this season, and he's a massive miss for you lot. He's going to be obviously out for the game, but how do you see this one going, man? And also, obviously, as Seb said, the whole high line, do you think that could be a disadvantage for you lot when you come up against Arsenal?
Yeah, firstly, with the doggy, he's been very good this season. He's been one of those players that has bought into Ange's system very well, as has the whole team. But he's really stood out. Very young player. Obviously, we signed him season ago, went on loan to Udinese last season, came back. It was an Antonio Conte signing, full back who thought would suit the system. So he's adapted to this back four, inverting, and he's done very well at it. So, of course, it'd be a miss, but it's not something we should be dwell on, if you like, because you've got Porro and Richarlison coming back. In particular, Richarlison, I think, is absolutely huge in terms of that physical presence in the box. And we're getting so many good positions, but just no one to kind of aim for. Like Havertz obviously stepped up for you, because before that, I think both North London clubs are having a similar problem. So that will be good in a way, but a doggy, of course, will be a miss. But the high line, absolutely, it's not good from a Spurs point of view in terms of the pace that you have through Saka, through Trossard, Martinelli, whoever it will be. There will be pace. And Van der Ven, we know he has that recovery pace. We can all agree on that. But against Newcastle, we had that, but to no avail kind of thing, because he lost his footing. Romero, there was no. This felt out of sync, and that was the worst I've seen us defensively for a long while. So obviously, I'm sure we'll get onto teams and that later, but there'd be quite a few changes I'd make from a Spurs point of view into this game in terms of our midfield just doesn't offer enough protection to the defence. And there needs to be serious changes, because otherwise we'd be flooding goals very, very quickly against you. You're scoring goals for fun. You're putting teams to bed. Newcastle done that. So if Newcastle can score 4, I dread to think how many you can score. So we've got to tighten up defensively. But you just don't know what can happen in 90 minutes. As all the guys have absolutely said here, it's 90 minutes. If our fans get behind the team, in North London derby, anything is possible. Form is pretty much irrelevant. And for Spurs, top 4 battle to stop you winning the title, there's a lot going into this game for both teams. So I'm looking forward to it. But the high line, for me, this is one of those occasions where you go, and me and Robbie will be in agreement with this in terms of we want to see Ange Postecoglou stick to his kind of plan. We're not for changing things, but I think in certain scenarios, when it comes to like inverted fullbacks, I don't want to see them tomorrow, because just Saka will be allowed with so much space, and even if he's not in the best of form, he will find space. He'll find, and he's a very clinical player. We know that. Arsenal are a clinical team. We've seen that. Even when they haven't been at their best, they've often got the job done, and they blow teams away while they're at it as well. So we've got to be very careful, and you don't want Davies inverting. You play Davies, you play him defensively against Saka. So Ange will change if he needs to change things. Will he? Probably not. So we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. This is how we felt with Zinchenko playing as the inverted left back.
Yeah, very, very true, man.
Sick.
Yeah, very, very true. But
this season, at least.
Robbie, sort of, same question to you, man. How are you feeling about obviously Postecoglou and this high line, and do you see it as a disadvantage for obviously Spurs?
I don't have a problem sticking with his system, right? I think Arteta did it when he first went to Arsenal. Pep did it when he first went to City. Klopp did it when he first went to Liverpool. And they all had very poor first seasons compared to what they've gone on to do in the Premier League. But what I think with Ange is I don't mind playing the high line. I don't mind doing this. But in certain occasions, maybe drop the line a little bit. Against certain teams, maybe put the wing backs out wide. Maybe don't exploit the overload and attack the wide areas instead of attacking the centre. Because if you're a team setting up against Spurs, and I'm not sure you guys will do it because you want to come here and control the game, but a lot of teams have done it. They've gone, okay, we're going to sit back with a back 3, make it narrow because they try and play through the middle, not let them exploit the overload. Keep our wing backs out wide, put pacey wingers up top and counter-attack their high line. And it's been that simple for a lot of teams to get results against us. So I don't mind Ange, and if anything, I want him to instill this system into the players. But in certain games, tweak it. I'm not saying change it completely and park the bus, Jose Mourinho style, but tweak it. Because if we play a high line tomorrow, I don't think we'll get anything. Honestly, I don't. No matter how good the crowd is and how up for it the players are, the quality will tell. I think the first 10 minutes tomorrow, honestly, are going to be crucial. I think if you guys score first, you'll go on to win the game. Because then I think our crowd quietens down a little bit. We get a little bit nervous. We push our high line even further. And you can just expose us almost on the counter like you did against Man City and Liverpool, but with a lot more pace away from them. So it should be interesting. Like Harry said, I think he should tweak it, but I don't think he will. I don't think he will. And when the system works, it's brilliant to watch. But when it doesn't, it's not entertaining like some people make out. I mean, this year, I remember coming on here last time, the North London derby, the football was brilliant. We've tried to play the same way this year so far and over the last 10 or so games. But to be honest, I found us quite boring to watch. We keep going behind, keep having to come back. We've had good spells in every game. We have about 5-10 minutes in every game where we go up to gear 5, we turn it on, we play like Pep's Barcelona drinking Red Bull and we put the teams to bed. But against the top teams, that's not going to happen. That's you can do it against the Palaces, but we can't rely on those spells against a team like you. So I think it will be an interesting game. I think Ange needs to tweak it. I don't think he will. And to be honest, that doesn't fill me with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's a few games this season where, yeah, obviously, as you said, like it's worked, the whole, system and the whole, style of play that Ange's playing. But there's other games where you sort of get. I remember the Fulham game this season, right? You lot got battered, didn't you? It's
Yeah.
like what, like 3-0 Fulham
That was
or something?
awful.
3-0. Could have been worse.
Have you had games like that? then this
Should have been
season?
worse.
Wow.
Newcastle as well. 4-0 to James's
yeah,
Park. It should be
yeah.
6 or 7. Being honest.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, you have to wait and see what. And yeah, I think you made a great point there, Robbie, man. Like the first 10 minutes could be, a big factor. But before I move into the Arsenal, as about how we should set up, I'll say with you lads in terms of the lineup you guys want to see Postecoglou go with. I'll start with you, Harry, man. What would be your ideal lineup to take on Arsenal tomorrow?
So it will be Vicario in goal, be Porro right back. Seb says I do expect him to feature. We've had 2 weeks in no game. And he was close to being back for Newcastle. There's no reason why he shouldn't be involved. Romero and Van der Ven will be the centre backs, and Davies will come in for the injured Udogie. And as I said earlier, scrap the inverted full backs. So it would be your typical pack four, not your 2 centre backs and full backs higher than your wingers. And then midfield, I'd have Højbjerg, bring him in as a 6, offers a bit of stability, professionalism. That battling, that leader that we just don't have in this team right now. Bentancur will be in there. If we're going to unlock you, and that's a massive if, it will be Bentancur at the heart of it with his neat little passes and little pressing. Maddison will be in there. Hasn't been in good form, as Robbie will, I'm sure, agree. But big game player, that's why he has to be in there. He does turn up these big occasions, always has done as well. Then the front three, Richarlison for me comes back in there as number 9, a physical presence to aim for. Again, performs when it matters most, and it's been in better form this season. On the right, I'd put Kulusevski back in there, bit of hold-up play. Again, a player who hasn't been in good form, hasn't featured much at all of late. But for this kind of game, bring him in, hold the ball up, track back. So that's for me. And Son on the left, again, another player not in great form, but very clinical. The closest you're going to get for me in this Spurs team, clinical compared to Harry Kane. Takes his chances, loves a goal against you. So that'd be my lineup. But I think the game can also be done one from the bench. You with Werner and Johnson as impact players later on. My thinking behind it is you tire, because you played a lot more games, 3 or 4 since we've last played. So you will tire towards the end. Any team would. Whether it's dramatic or not, we'll have to see. Whether the game's done by then, who knows how long that will be. But Johnson and Werner coming on, whether it be against Zinchenko, White, whoever it will be, in particular Zinchenko, that could be a key kind of tool, if you like, for Spurs to use. But that would be my lineup. I don't think it'll look anything like that. I'd be 4 or 5 changes different. But that's what I'd go with.
Fair play, man. Robbie, would you change anything from Harry's lineup?
No, I agree with Harry. I think, the back four's pretty much nailed on if Porro's fit. I mean, I'd be very shocked if I saw Royale at left back, but I wouldn't put it past Ange. I'd say it's probably a 20% chance, but I'd expect Ben Davies midfield. I agree with him. Richarlison as well, I think, is important. Whilst he isn't the best striker, and I think we should go in for someone more important. Last few weeks, our wingers, whether it be Johnson, Werner, who I personally don't rate, Son, Kulusevski, have been putting in good cross after good cross after good cross. But there's been no one running in there, like a Haaland, just a clinical striker, Solanke or Tony, to finish off those chances. I think if we did have a player like that, Alexander Isak's another example, we'd be higher in the table. But, Richarlison, for me, he's got to come in. He's got to have a good game. I think our most important player is if Mickey van der Ven has a bad game, oh my God, we're in trouble. Because playing that high line with guys like Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, whichever ones you choose to go up top, Jesus as well. And if we've got Ben Davies, Romero and Porro, those 3 don't have that much pace. Van der Ven's going to have to cover everything and track back almost every couple of minutes if we need to stay in the game. So I think he's crucial. But as I say, the lineup I agree with Harry. I think it's pretty much nailed on what he'll go with. The only one that I'd be surprised about is if we saw Sarr start. He hasn't been starting him recently. Someone who I personally don't want to see is Basuma. I'd rather see Højbjerg in there. But yeah, I agree with Harry, to be honest.
Yeah, fair play, man. Fair play. Before I move into the Arsenal, lads, there's a question for all of us. Bigger optics. What's your lads' favourite North London derby? I think he means of obviously all time. I think there's a few for me. One of my favourites is when we beat you 4-2 at the Emirates when we had Emery as a manager. because
Oh,
like one of my
yeah.
favorite players,
Very
Lucas
bad
Torreira,
evening.
scored.
That was a very bad evening for us.
That
Not good.
it's a bad evening.
Very
bad
bad.
evening, but no, obviously I think we went 1-0 up, and then you made it 2-1, and then halftime Emery brought on Ramsey, changed the game. Lacazette scored,
Lacazette.
Aubameyang, and then Torreira scored. That was class. I think the one 2014 when we done you 5-2 as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
we've
was
done you
my
5
favourite.
Yeah. I mean, we've done you 5-2 quite a few times at Emirates. I mean, I remember 2012 did it as well, but that'll probably be one of my favorites. He's either the 5-2 or the 4-2. But Robbie, bro, I'll come to you. What's your favorite North London derby for you?
There's a few. The one from a few years ago was quite good. We really thought that was going to elevate us getting into the top 4, but looking back in hindsight, it didn't. But that was a great night. The atmosphere there when we beat the lot 3-0. A lot of good North London derbies were in black and white for us, and before I was born, so I can't comment on it. Based on what I've seen, I think in terms of a great game, the 2-2 draw where Harry Kane took the ball from the corner flag and scored from outside the box and took his mask off. And I think it was Ozil. It may have been someone else who scored a Raboni.
Was that 2016?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was arguably the best one though. For
That was
the
a cracker
neutrals.
of a game. In terms of like,
Yeah.
not with us winning it, but end-to-end action and hitting the post and goals left, right.
We went down to 10 men as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's
I
been
remember
some
that.
great ones. There really has been some great ones
Yeah.
over the years. There's also been some very, very bad ones for us. So it's
Yeah.
always one of those, though, like you look at some Man United, Liverpool, and Everton, Liverpool, and other derbies in England. They're very predictable. The North London derby, you genuinely never know. I wouldn't be that surprised if we go on and beat you 2 or 3-0 tomorrow. I would be surprised if we get smashed. You know, it genuinely can go either way.
Yeah. What about you, Harry? What would be your favorite North London derby, bro?
Yeah, I think Robbie's spot on in terms of what he says about the North London derby in general and just how underrated it is. But in terms of the actual games, if you take the Spurs bias away in terms of like a neutral point of view, Robbie's spot on. It has to be that 2-2 game with the Harry Kane moment. It was end-to-end action. It looked like one minute you were going to win it, we were going to win it. In the end, it was a draw. That was real entertaining. But from the Spurs point of view, it has to be 2 years ago. Under Conte, when we got top 4 and we beat you 3-0. That moment because you were in the position for top 4. We came back and in the end got it. And that at the time felt quite a special moment and a special end to the season because we were all thinking as Spurs fans, myself included, next season, full season under Conte, a whole summer transfer window, anything could be possible. It's very good. It started really well, but then we all know how it went. But that game itself, it absolutely did. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it like that, but there you go. So that game from a Spurs point of view was absolutely the best. But from a neutral point of view, that 2-2 game, it had everything. And that was my first North London derby watching as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't say the one in 2004, the 2-2 draw.
Yes, Rory. But Seb, what will be because obviously like you're a lot older, so I'm you see many more than us, obviously. So what would be your favorite one?
Yeah, I'll still say the 5-2 when we came back from 2-0 down and won 5-2. I'll probably say that one. But yeah, there's been quite a few. Obviously, the 2-2 when we won the league, that was brilliant. But yeah, if I had to choose a favourite, I'll say the 5-2. And I also really liked the 3-1 when we scored 3 first half goals. Like inside.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
Was that in the All or Nothing documentary?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I was at that. I was at that game. It was brilliant.
Yeah, you was there as well. But when if you saw like we got the club, the guy who does the photos. To give a little team talk before the game. That was mad. But yeah,
if I had to choose a favourite, I'll say the 5-2 back in 2012 when we came back from 2 down.
Yeah.
Can I just say the one last season where we won 2-0? I know we didn't win the league last season, but if we would have won the league, I would have probably put that one in there just because how dominant we were.
And it should have been more.
That was one of the most
face it.
one-sided London derbies I've seen, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was mad last season, but
we were awful.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other. I know I don't really want to bring this up as an Arsenal fan, but there's when we was trying to get top 4 and you not beat us with it when we should have beat you to bit. Obviously, you batted us 3-0. Absolutely. I think that's when you had Conte, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
The,
done us
the,
3-0.
the one in I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken, where we won 2-0 and Mustafi and Sanchez scored.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah.
For us, anyway.
That was good, yeah.
There's no, it's not from the derby, man. There's
Been
always
lots.
always
The
been
last
good.
one at the Lane as well. I forgot about that where we beat them 2-0. Kane scored that header. That was a great save. But the amount of you think he's named about 10 to 15 games there, and gone over a few. And it's probably 50-50 as to who's won each of them. So it's one of those derbies that's always in the balance.
Yeah. Look, before we move on, Harry, bro, have you got a bounce?
Yeah, I can go for a couple more minutes or a few more minutes if needs be. That's absolutely fine. Not a problem.
No worries, man, because I wanted to do Combine 11, if you can.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Not a problem.
Right, I'm going to do a Combine 11, guys. Let's do, of course, leave it in the chat as well, people.
Oh.
What should I use? Should I use that lineup builder one?
How many Spurs players are we getting in here then? 1 or 2?
I'll give you a
Maybe
few.
Yeah.
I'll give you a few, I'll be honest. I'll give you a couple.
Right, let's share this, lads. So should we just do like a 4-3-3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that. That makes sense.
Right. Goalkeeper. We have got obviously Vicario. Guys, can you see the screen? Or have I not done it?
Yeah, I can see
okay,
it.
you
Yeah, I
can see
can
it,
see the
right?
screen now.
Yeah.
Took a while.
Right. Goalkeeper.
Yeah,
We've got Vicario. Of course, I think he's having a great season with you guys in the court. We've got Dario Raya, who's going to win Golden Glove. So who'd you go with, guys? Vicario or Raya?
Raya.
Right.
For me, I would say Vicario and David Ray obviously had a wobbly spell at the start, but he has got it together and it has been really good. So I think it's actually really close, and I think that this could absolutely go either way. But ultimately, Raya is keeping clean sheets left, right, and centre. Vicario is not. So I suppose you could say David Raya is a good shout. But I think Vicario, for me, I know that without him, we'd probably find ourselves out the top 6. And I do generally mean that. He's pulled off saves where he shouldn't have. So for me, he's just about Vicario, but it's a very hard one.
Yeah, I agree
Rory?
with him, though. Sorry.
No, yeah. Yeah, go on, Robbie, bro.
Sorry. I think Ray has been solid. I think he's grown into the Premier League. I think he started a bit shaky, and I know you guys, can see the least amount of goals and have done this season in the Prem. But how many of those games? I don't watch every Arsenal game, but when they're on the telly, I often see you guys. How many of those games have you come away from going, Ray has saved us there? Ray has made some huge saves. I think a lot of that is down to your centre backs and your defensive unit. Whilst he does have a part to play, I think Vicario is a little bit more crucial to this Spurs team. And I think if you had someone like Vicario, you'd be further top of the league right now. And probably go on to win the league, in my opinion. I think he's a fantastic keeper. I think he came in with no one really knowing him. A lot of pressure replacing someone like Hugo, who it finished poorly for, but was a fantastic keeper for us. And then he's come in and he's just been absolutely superb. He's got his kryptonite. He's made a couple of mistakes defending corners and physicality. But a few times I've seen David Raya give away some horrendous goals, like in that Brentford game. But I think both are very solid keepers. I'd be okay to concede Raya because I think he's fantastic. But I'd put Vicario over him because of the impact he's made and how good he's been.
Fair play. Rory, bro, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go with Raya. I think Vicario's been impressive. But when we talk like an all-round goalkeeper, I think Vicario, the only thing I'd say Vicario's got over Raya is his shot-stopping ability. When it comes to claiming for crosses, distribution, I think Raya's better. Because I've seen a couple of times this season where Vicario has flapped from crosses. You can say he has been fouled in a couple of them, whatever, but I don't know. I just don't feel like he's that strong when it comes to crosses. And although I think his shot-stopping ability is decent, I'm not saying his distribution is awful. I just think Raya is much better. I think if this was, I suppose, October to November time, then I would have probably said Vicario because he was playing well at the time. But I think because Raya is on course to win the Golden Glove after missing the opening 6 games of the season, I think it's got to be him in goal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Raya's been fantastic. The turnaround he's had, as the Spurs lads rightly said. I mean, he had a very shaky start of us. Even the Arsenal fans were like, I remember a selective Arsenal fans. We wasn't doing this, but when we was playing, I think Chelsea or a game like that, they were singing Ramsdale's name when Raya's in goal.
Yeah.
So it's a very shaky start he had, but he's definitely. I mean, he's been superb this season. Going to get Golden Glove. As much as I rate Vicario as well, and I think his quality, and honestly think in the Euros he'll probably get over Donnarumma as well. I think that's how good the guy can be. I think I'm gonna have to go with Raya for this one. But guys, we'll do this based on form, and without the injuries, if that's all good.
Okay.
Oh, without the
because that changes things up for the
It
second
does,
season.
Yeah, I think just based on this season overall, in terms of Arsenal and Spurs players, I think we do it this way. So I think it'll be a bit more interesting if we do it this way because back four, right? We'll go left back first. Obviously, left backs we have Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Kivior's played there, Timber obviously injured. For you guys, of course, Udolce. You've got. I mean, who's his backup now? Obviously, because he won't play.
Ben Davies, isn't it?
Ben Davies. So real talk. I would give you Udolce.
Yeah, I'm willing to.
I think he's been absolutely unbelievable this season.
Yeah,
I think Kiwior's been good, but I would prefer an actual left back there. We're talking modern fullbacks, and I'm willing to concede the left back, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think that's one of your only.
Considering it's going to be a full 11 of Arsenal players, so
we got one in. We got one in.
The thing is,
we'll take that, Robbie.
The thing is, we haven't really got a proper natural.
You haven't
actually tied down yet. And to be fair to Dogi, he has been one of the best. I think probably the best left back in the league. Either him or Garvio. I think it's between those two. But Dogi definitely in.
And obviously, you sent him out on loan, didn't you, to Udinese for a little bit?
Yeah.
And now you gave him the chance, and he's obviously been excellent for you guys at left back, and he's looking fantastic for you lot. But it's massive that he's out. So if we're doing it overall, I think he definitely gets in at left back. Now 2 centre backs. This would be interesting, I think. Obviously, we got Saliba and Gabriel. They've been unbelievable this season. You got Romero, Van der Ven, of course. Now Van der Ven I actually do rate very highly. I know what happened at Newcastle, but I don't know, lads. What are we saying for
Come on, you can't. I don't think we should not be in any disagreement here.
Saliba and Gabriel.
Yeah, come on.
Do you know what? I think earlier in this season, Mickey Van der Ven would definitely been a shout. But I think, genuinely, I'm going to have to concede this. I love Van der Ven, but same. I think Gabriel, as a player this season, how improved he's been, and last season to be fair, but especially this season. I'd say this season he's been better than Saliba. He's been quality for you lot, and Saliba's been consistently performing for a few years. I think the injury, as I say, did halt him a little bit, and since he's come back, he's still been quality, but just not at that same level, in my opinion. He had that game against Newcastle. This is one poor game, to be honest, but it's fresh in the memory, and I think those two have just been, as a partnership, so solid for you lot.
I absolutely agree. For me, it has to be the double Arsenal duo centre back. Saliba, I've always thought, to be honest with you, is fantastic. Even when Arsenal haven't been good, just that cool, calm head. There's just something about him, really, really classy. And Gabriel, a player, being honest with you, I've questioned at times, going, there's been a lot of mistakes. That last season, I thought at times is really poor, to be honest with you. But this season, he's come back, proved a lot of people, including myself, wrong. And I love Van der Ven. If this, being honest with you, was done in October, November, then I'd put Van der Ven and Saliba in there. But at this moment in time, ultimately, Arsenal, so many clean sheets. We can't keep one. Double Arsenal duo.
No, fair play. Honestly, respect, man. Oh, yeah, fair play for that. Left back. We've done left back. Right back. We've got Ben White. He's been unbelievable, especially second half of this season. He's been insane. But you got a very good right back, I think, as well in Pedro Porro. I've been, really impressed with him this season for you lot, and especially what he brings to you going forward as well. I think, your two, obviously, well, Dolce is very good going forward, and so is Porro. So, been really impressed with him. What do you guys think for right back, Ben White or Porro?
I'm leaning Ben White, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like Porro, but ultimately, again, and this people could say, it's not fair in terms of personnel, but ultimately, Arsenal are not letting many goals, if any, and Spurs are. I really like Porro. I think he's been very good going forward. Defensively questionable, but White, in terms, we're talking improvement from last season. Let's I don't necessarily bring it up for you, but last season when it went wrong for Arsenal, for me, it was defensive problems. The likes of Gabriel, White, more mistakes were coming into their games. This year, they've both been pretty much exceptional and up there with the best defenders in the league. They've been very, very impressive. So, as much as I want to put Porro in here because he is one of my favourites, Ben White just has to be in there, and he has to be in that in that England team at the moment as well, based on form.
I respect, man. Honestly, fair
I
play.
agree.
Yeah, Robbie, you agree as well?
Brilliant. I think Ben White, when I've seen him this season, has been excellent. And whilst I know, the goal was really intentional against Chelsea, one of them, but even in that game, he was brilliant. And Porro, again, very good player. Definitely improved his, defensive game this season compared to when he first joined us. But compared to Ben White, I just struggle to put up a case. You might have to change this from combined 11, Josh, to Arsenal 11, including a couple of Spurs players, because that's what it's looking like it's going to turn out to be now, mate. But, yeah, Ben White.
Well, we are in the
It's pretty
title
much
race.
our 11 for the weekend.
Well, we are in the title race.
Yeah. It's Arsenal's lineup. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Any Arsenal fans, Seb or Rory? I think Ben White.
Yeah, I agree.
Ben White.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been the best right back in the league this season, and he's really, brought me back on board, to be honest, because I wasn't familiar with his game November, December time. I was like, get rid of him. He's not really the level we need anymore. So I think, Ben White, 100%. I think he's one of the most underrated right backs in the Premier League right now, as well as the best, really.
Let's go into this midfield.
So negative.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Midfield, guys.
Oh my god.
Wait, what's
Do
this?
you know what?
This is a
What I will
Spurs
say,
fan as well.
what I
what's
will
this?
say is I disagree with a lot of what Has says, right? But I think he could be right here because we've seen our fan base turn on so many managers after a few poor results. And I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if we lose quite heavily to you and then don't beat Chelsea on Thursday. If the amount of people calling out and increases. Personally, I think sacking a manager is a bit stupid. And that's not necessarily what Has is saying. But at the same time, I just think I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few poor results and start to turn.
And I agree that he won't be surprised, but if we use common sense here, for me, I've been totally honest with you. I don't think it will happen. We could lose every game from now to the end of the season, but I've seen enough this season to know that we are on the right path. Of course, Ange needs to change, but Pep, Arteta, look at Klopp. He came to Liverpool and started zonal marking. He didn't stay with that, did he? It didn't mean he should get sacked because he got one thing from corner as well. Because Liverpool fans could see progress, they could see the future. We've seen that. I've seen it. We went to the Etihad and got a point. We went to the Emirates and got a point. We beat Liverpool for the first time at home. Goodness knows how long. Just about. I know we still got the job done. And Villa Park, that performance alone was very, very impressive. I've seen enough for me to be convinced, and I just think Spurs is very quick to jump to conclusions. There's not any case scenario in 2024 I could even think of. I'd even think about whether he's right for the Premier League or not. We don't know because look at Ten Hag in his first season. Look at him now. I don't think he still is the right fit for Man United or the Premier League. But first seasons go. But Has was the same person who's going. We're going to finish 11th. But then when we finish 4th or 5th, it's absolute disaster. Get out. So where's the consistency?
Arsenal lads, I do apologise. We're going to have to turn this into a Tottenham debate now because we can't deal with any of our players in the lineup.
Guys, talk about the midfield, man. Obviously, Declan Rice, Odegaard,
100%.
Maddison, I think could be a shout to get in there. I'm a massive
No.
fan of Madison.
No,
Even when
Definitely not.
he's
I don't think so. I can't be honest.
really,
I don't
has he been
think
poor for
so.
you lot
Are
recently?
He's been
we
shocking.
basing this on not just form, but the player as well?
Do you know what I
Overall,
would say? Yeah, I would say
Overall.
I think two that are nailed on. I can't deny. I think Harry will agree with this, and obviously you guys will. Odegaard and Rice go straight. In my
Absolutely.
opinion.
yeah.
They've been absolutely brilliant. The one other place I think is between the likes of Jorginho, Pape Matar, James Maddison. Personally, my choice would be Starr. I think he's come in a lot
Yeah,
this
he's been good.
season, and he hasn't put in one bad performance. He's constantly putting 7 or 8 out of 10s. He's been very, very consistent. No injury troubles. Whenever he starts, always puts in a shift. He scored a few goals and had some brilliant games. And I think he's just done more than other suggestions. Like Jorginho can come in and be consistent, but he's also made a few mistakes here and there. You know, Thomas Partey has been out for pretty much all of the season. And James Maddison, for me, started so well for those first 10 games. But like Bissouma got that red card and crumbled for him. Since Maddison's come back from the injury, he's just not been the same player.
Yeah.
No, I was going to touch on Thomas Partey as well. I know he's not played a whole lot, but if you're saying we can do the player here, he on paper makes it in the team. And he is back now.
Yeah, I think
I'm-
it's all about
I
overall.
would personally put Sarr in there. I'm with Robbie in terms of form. At such a young age, he's really stepped up to the occasion. I think that Odegaard and Rice have been the best two midfielders in North London. It really is as simple as that. But third place, there's no one that really stands out to me from Arsenal. I don't think Jorginho is consistent. Thomas Partey hasn't been in this team enough. So I do think it has to go to a Spurs player. It's just who it is. I'd love to give it to Bentancur in terms of all-round calibre of player. But he's been injured a lot and hasn't had times to not performing. So for me, it is Pape Matar.
Would you say Sarr's like being your best midfielder this season then?
Probably, yeah. I'd say so.
Because I remember, obviously, you had Bissouma. He had a good start to the season, though.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he has. He's just like Maddison. They've massively fallen off a cliff, and it's not that they're not necessarily performing, etc. But they're just, or like going missing in games. They've just been really bad, like giving the ball away, giving fouls away, getting involved in the other side of the game, if you like, the niggly side of the game. That they've both been very poor. And if our like Spurs team selection tomorrow is based off form, then Bissouma, Maddison, they don't get in there. But we know that
Bentancur's a shout as well. Bentancur's a shout. He's been injured a fair bit though, so if I'm having
this season, I would say Sarr, but
wait, what did that
last
comment
season
just
with
say?
Bentancur.
An uninjured Bentancur's better than Rice. Oh my God!
I don't agree with that. I think he's a great player, but if I'm sticking with that, I'm not going to put Partey in because he's missed the season. Then I can't be a hypocrite and do the same.
I think Chris is great, and I agree with a lot of what he says. But generally, but Declan Rice for me has been the signing of the season. I think hopefully it's something a whole panel tonight can agree on in terms of Declan Rice has gone up and beyond. I think what any of us could have expected, and ultimately is the sign of the season. I don't get why there's these debates. Who is the sign of the season? It is. Your closest player is Cole Palmer, but still is for me a big distance. Rice is. There's no secret where you're conceding less goals. Not the goalkeeper for me. The backline's pretty much stayed the same. It is Declan Rice offering that protection. That's why I try and tell Spurs fans, let's put Højbjerg in front of this defence, and they just don't see it. I don't think that a 6 offers protection, whereas that's what it's meant to do, and Rice has done that. So Rice has to be in there. Even if Arsenal weren't doing well, it's just been so good.
Yeah, so for this last midfield spot, Arsenal fans, Seb, what are you saying for it, man?
Well, I will go Maddison. I'll go Maddison, but the Spurs.
Yeah, same here.
Disagree. But
All right, Maddison.
I'll go Maddison. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah,
I think he's a great player, but of course, fitness and injuries is his concern. But when he's on form, I thought early in the season when they were doing well, I thought he was like probably one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
At that time, you can definitely say that was a brilliant signing, but he seems to have gone off a cliff a little bit. But still, I think he's had an all right season. I'll go Maddison.
I would have as well. What about you, Rory?
I still think Partey should be in the team, to be honest. I know he's not played a lot, but on paper, is that the best midfield? we can put together.
For balance.
Don't get me wrong, I love Maddison, right? I think back in 2019, 20. In fact, no, back in 2019, I was adamant on Maddison. I was like, yeah, we should get this guy. He is a dream signing. I rated him since 2019, and yeah, when we got Havertz for 65 million and Maddison was available for 40, I was dejected.
I was fuming about that.
But right now, I think, I know, again, as I said, I know Partey's been out injured, but that is the best midfield three we can put together on paper. Because when Partey is fit, he is arguably up there with Rodri, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Best DMs in the
I do
league.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. But look, only because this will probably be your only player. Well, actually, maybe another one in attack.
Yeah.
I'll give you a midfielder. I'll give you Spurs fans
Thank
midfielder.
Well, thank you, Josh. We've got a
pick,
second
Go
one
on,
in there.
then.
Get in there.
Yeah.
We're not going to be this generous going forward. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can take your pick, Sarr or Maddison.
I think Sarr, personally.
Yeah, I think Sarr as well.
I'm telling you, I used to rate Basuma so highly at the start of the season. He was another one that I was really annoyed that Arsenal didn't go after at the time.
Me too.
25
All of a sudden,
million.
got so many red cards, and he just starts giving the ball. Like, it's so many goals have led from him giving the ball away, and his attitude doesn't look right. And his Morley head coach has called him out. So I think there's plenty of problems off the pitch that will be later revealed, that we saw with Delhi and with Charleston, etc. But it doesn't look good from his point of view.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go to the attack, guys. Right hand side, Scotty Saka.
all day.
Yeah, we can get the right hand side done now. We know who that's going to be. So it's only two positions we're debating.
Yeah.
No, I like Brennan Johnson, but it's just that's credit to Saka and how good he consistently is. Club and country.
He's a great player. He's a great player.
Although I don't think he's been the same in terms of performances wise.
Yeah.
His GA is still there, and he's been banging goals and assists in the Champions League as well. And although I think Kulusevski had a good patch at the start of the season, I just think he's a one-trick pony at times. All he does is cut inside and then cross. I know Saka does it sometimes, but I just think Saka's got more of an X factor about him in his game than Kulusevski. I don't think I've ever seen Kulusevski go on the outside, whereas Saka, I've seen him do it countless times, even before this season. You can let him off because at the end of the day, he's been ran into the ground and he's still putting up numbers. So I think he's got to be on the right hand side. Plus, I don't even know whether Kulusevski will start the game at the weekend. So it could literally be whoever, but we all know Saka's going to start at the weekend, so it's got to be him.
Yeah, I think one of your Spurs lads gone with a Arsenal front three. Saka, Havertz,
I can understand Saka and Havertz, but I personally don't quite understand Trossard. But we will get on to that.
No.
What I'd go with, I think
we'll get on to that.
I think there's two interesting ones, but I think personally I'd go with Trossard on the other wing, and I'd go with Son up top. And I think Son's played striker most of the season.
That's exactly
15 goals. Havertz is a good player, but I think Son's done more. And then I think Martinelli, just when I watch Arsenal, I think Trossard makes much more of an impact coming off the bench, or even when he started recently in big games. He is a big game player. And when some Arsenal fans were getting frustrated that they didn't sign Mudryk for 80 million and sign Trossard for like 25, I couldn't believe it, because the guy's been fantastic. He's got you so many points. So I'd personally go with him on the wing, Son as striker. I could understand the case for Havertz and then Son on the left wing, but for me, Son has to get in there. And the other one, I mean, I'd go with Trossard, but I can understand Martinelli. I can get Havertz. I don't think I can quite get Timo Werner personally, or any of our other wingers, but there you go.
No,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's fair, honestly. I think that's fair.
I swear you were linked with Trossard. Would you have taken him at the time?
Yeah, mate, I would have taken it. We got Werner
at the time.
15 million in the summer. That's what's going to happen. So I think he's been great for you guys. He was fantastic at Brighton.
That's exactly what I would have gone for. Trossard on the left, Son through the middle. I feel like Havertz has had a very good season, considering the expectation we had of him. We didn't think he was going to be the player he is today. But there's no way you can miss out my twin brother, innit? Like, you just can't. And then you've got to put Son in. Trossard's a man in form, and he does come in clutch in big games. Porto in the Champions League. He scored the equaliser against Bayern. I know he didn't get through in that game, but still, it was a vital goal at the time because we had to come out in that first leg with at least something. He also scored against Chelsea, scored a great goal against Wolves at the weekend. He is coming in clutch. I still do maintain that he is much better off the bench than he is starting. But I think recently he definitely does deserve to start. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this could be his first North London derby he's going to feature in. Because in the last one, in January at your place, he wasn't at the club. We signed him after. And then early on in the season, he was injured.
Yeah, you're right. It will be. It will be.
So
Trossardinho's first North London derby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right.
Harry, what do you think for for this these two positions?
Personally, for me, it'll be quite a bit different. It'll be Havertz as a striker in terms of again, I never really got the signing from Chelsea, especially with the price tag, and I don't think he started the season fantastically, but overall he's improved and done very well. So he'd be the number 9 for me. I don't like Son in that number 9 position. Doesn't really offer much. And for me, the goals come even when he's in that number 9 position, drifting in from the left. So Son for me gets in on that left. It would be Havertz down the middle.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think this attack, Son's definitely in there for you lot. I'll give you
it's
that.
A scary attack still.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, we have Martinelli there, but he's not been at his best this season. Where Arsenal fans, know him where he can be. Really, he hasn't reached his standard at all.
He could be a guy who could start the game. I was thinking, you know what, because of the high line.
Would you play Martinelli over Trossard? Start him.
I don't know. I was thinking Trossard through the middle and then Martinelli on the left, but at the same time, you can't drop Havertz. Trossard, you can't really drop him at the moment because they're in form. Martinelli isn't. That's a difficult one because I feel like Martinelli's pace could play a huge part. I really do. Because of the high line, despite him not being in form. So, I don't know. That's a difficult one. He can turn up in big games as well. Man City scored against Liverpool as well. I actually don't know where to sit on that one. What would you do? Would you start Trossard?
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing in the lineup, bro.
No,
Honestly,
I was just thinking.
White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu left back, midfield Partey, Odegaard, and Rice.
Oh yeah,
and front three, Saka, Havertz, and Trossard.
Yeah, that midfield three has to remain. Like if we play that midfield three, I think we do dominate the midfield. If we revert back to Havertz through the middle and then Jesus through the middle, then oh my god.
Yeah, don't change something. That
even this guy said. However, if Arteta tinkers and play Havertz in the midfield, exactly, bro.
He will have to do that. We can't allow Declan Rice to be isolated in that team. It's as simple as that, especially in a huge game. It didn't work when we played Rice as the 6th against you lot at the Emirates. And Partey had a very good game against Chelsea. He was arguably one of the best players on the pitch. And it just allows the likes of Rice, Odegaard, just more freedom. And I think, obviously, Partey nearly scored arguably one of the goals of the season last season against you lot. That volley. I mean,
that was superb.
Oh,
yeah. If that goes in, I'm not even joking. That would have been nominated for the Puskas Award. I'm not even joking.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So I think he has to start the game if we stand any chances, because he's made for these sort of games. And I think the front three, I was considering playing Martinelli, but you've got to go Saka, Havertz, and Trossard. Although I think later on in the game, we will need that pace with Martinelli, because I think, say if we do score, Tottenham will push 5 yards up the pitch. So we'll need his pace to get him behind later on in the game, because he is arguably our fastest player. So it's going to be a really interesting game, man. And I'm just, as I said, nervous for it, but I'm excited. That's the main thing. I am really, really excited for the game. It's just whether Arsenal have the bottle.
Yeah, facts, man. Look, lads, coming towards the end of the show, let's go around and give our score predictions. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal personally. Robbie, over to you, man. Score prediction.
Oh, mate, I'm a nervous wreck before these games. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate them. Some people love the build-up. I hate the build-up. I just want to get on with the game and kick off. But do you know what? I think you guys are the better team, right? You are. I'm not going to beat around the bush. You're contending for a league title. You've got better players in the majority of positions. We've seen that doing the combined 11. Me and Harry have had to concede to a lot of Arsenal players, but rightly so, because they've been better than the Spurs ones. But I think at the end of the day tomorrow, you come into the lane, right? And whilst you beat us last season, this team, in my opinion, do have a lot more fight than they did last season. And I think, it's one of those, the crowd tomorrow at the start of that game will be absolutely on fire. They'll be the 12th man. That crowd is going to be ridiculous. And if we can take advantage of that, that will be massive. I had a debate on Luca's channel last night, and he couldn't believe that I couldn't care less about top 4. I don't care whether we get 4th. It means nothing. We got it a few years ago. We qualify for a competition that we've got no chance of winning. All I give a monkey's toss about this season is beating you lot tomorrow. I will happily lose the rest of our games for this season if we stop you lot winning the title. I don't care where we finish. I don't care what happens. Beat Arsenal tomorrow and stop them winning the title. And shouldn't have to say anything. Literally, that should be the motivation. Your fans.
Have I froze?
No, it's not you.
I think it's Robbie.
Oh,
Wouldn't it be the most Spursy thing to do though, to lose to Arsenal, but then beat Man
City?
Yeah,
It absolutely would be, and it would be to draw to Sheffield United or lose to relegate Sheffield United on the last day of the season.
You're
But go and beat
literally
Man
our
City.
only hope to beat Man City.
We try.
I do
the feeling
apologise
to
about
support
that
you
Wi-Fi.
lot in that City game.
no right,
Yeah.
man.
But being totally honest with you, from now City till the end of the season, I can't see them losing. If they're going to drop points, it probably would be against us. And that, in terms of that, they struggle. Generally, it comes to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I don't think as much because of the style that we play, but still, Pep speaks about it all the time. It clearly affects him and the players. They constantly talk about, I know they won the FA Cup, but they haven't beaten us in the league at the Tottenham. They haven't scored against us in the league. Only scored once there in all competitions. That does play with the mind kind of thing. So I think that we could and probably will stop them. It wouldn't surprise me. But I agree with Robbie in terms of it's important, to win tomorrow. But I personally really want top 4 to be playing back in the Champions League. I think that those memories do last a long way. I know what Robbie means in terms of 5th Europa League. We have a good chance of winning it. Put it this way. I'm not going to be, upset if we finish 5th. But at the same time, if you said to be 4th or 5th, it would be 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you win, this is why I hate London derbies, because of the magnitude of this game. If you win, then I don't think I will get any sleep for the rest of my life. You man are going to have pyros. Basuma's going to invite his kids on the pitch. Oh my days! I don't think I can get over it.
That will be the best trophy you've won in 2000.
And we'll take it, mate. We'll take it.
You man couldn't win a poll on my community post, let alone a trophy.
That's quite
we just have to go out there and do the job.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
In all seriousness, it's a huge North London derby. In terms of Arsenal, it's more you just have to get the job done. It doesn't matter how. You have to go there, find a way to win, because we know that the City aren't going to drop many, if any, points from now to the end of the season. And this Arsenal team, there's something different about it. So as Robbie said, it wouldn't surprise you. Arsenal came here, got the job done. But it's not going to be easy, of course. But it'd be a big mentality test for Arsenal. See how far that this team has come. They had, for me, one big one earlier in the season at the Etihad, and you passed it by going there and getting a point. So this is, for me, the second big one. Of course, all the games for you from now to the end of the season, they're like finals in terms of you've got to win them all. But North London derby against a team that really want to stop you from doing that. We saw how much Everton wanted to stop Liverpool from winning the title. They were successful. And we all know, let's be honest here, Liverpool and Everton, starting 11 managers, it is chalk and cheese, but just in 90 minutes, you just don't know what's possible. But it is huge. There's no secret about it.
Yeah, and do you know what? If we go on to lose and beat Manchester City, I might quit YouTube, honestly. You might never see me on another show. I don't think I can deal with it. I don't think I can deal with it. But yeah, I think 2-2. But honestly, for you guys, I think the most important thing is keeping your composure. You know, don't give away the ball when you're trying to play out.
Play the game, not the occasion.
Get the crowd.
Exactly.
Because if the crowd starts getting on top of you.
That's old habits.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we did against Bayern in the Champions League.
If the crowd gets on top of you, start giving it away, then I reckon it could swing in our favour. But if you stick to playing your football and show the quality that you've got, and especially attacking our high line, it could be a difficult game. But it's all speculation. We'll see what happens tomorrow, as I say. And, you know, it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah. Harry, what's your score prediction, man?
See, I find it difficult. It's changed throughout the week to go in. We're all for and we're going to get hammered. To in 90 minutes, you just don't know what's possible. I've said 2-1 to us throughout the week, but now I'm going to go with 2-2 in terms of I think that I think we'd be good and we'd be up for the occasion, but realistically, I can't see us winning. As nice it will be, 2-1's more a fantasy kind of thing, but I'll go 2-2, and I think that overall Arsenal will be very disappointed with that. I actually think that though we go 2-0 up, and I think you'll claw it back to 2-2 through set pieces. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Maybe one from Saliba, one Gabriel. I think that's definitely very key. Declan Rice edge of the box will be massive, but the midfield battle is where it's all going to be won. So a draw, I would take that. I don't think you will or should in your position. Usually, yeah, maybe. But at this moment in time, it has to be wins. And for us, it's just get through to the end of the season, to be honest. But no, I think it should be a really good game, and I'm going tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, nice one, man. Nice one. Yeah, no, honestly, I think, as you said rightly, I think a draw would affect it. I really think the draw. This has to be a win. Also, have to win these next 4 games to have a chance to win the league title. Because
doesn't matter though, does it? If it's a 1-0 win from an added time, like an own
exactly,
goal,
bro. A win's a win, man.
Or you win 4-0. It's a win.
Exactly.
Any win.
Absolutely.
Anything but 3 points.
Yeah. No, exactly. Arsenal fans, Rory, bro, I'll come to you first, my guy. Score prediction.
I hate predicting these games, man. Oh no!
So hard.
When it backfires, you're left with egg on your face.
Yeah.
I think we will concede. I think we've conceded 2 goals away from home this year, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 3? I can't remember.
It's not many.
Yeah, we are very good at home. I think we've kept clean sheets over the last 6 matches away from home, which is decent. But I think this is the real test. Whether you think Tottenham are this or that, look, it's a derby. Say if like we were from, I don't know, Tyneside or something, and we played Tottenham, then you can say, right, Arsenal can say they're coming out comfortable victors because they wouldn't know like what this game means. But because it's a London derby, I just think we've got a little bit more quality. I think it'll be a close game, but because of that high line, I think we can get them behind. I really can, and I think we'll score a couple of goals. So I'm going to say 3-1 Arsenal. I originally said 2-0, but I think we will concede. It'll be a close game.
Okay.
I think we'll score 2 goals in the first half. Then they'll pull one back to sort of get your hopes up a little bit. And then you'll play again this high line. We'll get in behind and then we'll pretty much damage your hopes, really. So, yeah, I think that's my score prediction. I'm going to go 3-1.
Fair play. Seb, score prediction, my friends.
You know what? The thing is, I hate predicting these games because I really don't know. Really, so you can either go one or two ways. Or the more if I talk about it, the more nervous and stressed I get. Oh. I don't know. So I'm not going to give a prediction on that tense. I'm not going to give one.
This fixture
Fair
makes us all go mad, doesn't it? I mean, for these next 24 hours, all that's in here is North London Derby, North London Derby, North London Derby.
Yeah.
I hate these games. I really do.
When it's kick off, the talk is over. Like it's getting down to business.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go 2-1 to us, but
Hey, come on, Seb. My guy, come on. 2-1.
it will not honestly. It will not at all surprise me if it's a draw or they win. It will not at all.
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
please.
Us waiting to see, lads.
And also, let's be honest. Going back to that point when it'll be Spursy if we beat you and you beat City or you take points from City. I don't see it happening. I don't see you beating City, to be honest, because first of all,
I don't see us beating them.
First of all, I don't see you beating City or taking points off them because first of all, with the way that high line you play,
it's criminal.
The teams that you've had City have beaten you with, you've had Nuno, you've had Conte, you've had
defensive-minded
managers. You've had managers that know.
I think it's
they all know how to beat
well.
them.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if Ange does. And also, let's be honest, you're not going to do us any favours because I remember back in the days when we went head-to-head with Man United, we used to roll over for Man United. I remember 99 on that last day, you let Man United win to stop us winning the league. And also 2001, when you went 3-0 up, and then you threw it away and lost 5-3. You see, you won't do us any favours, I don't think. And I know the players might have a different mindset to the fans, but they'll know, the players will know how much it means and all that.
I've got a feeling you lot are going to play the game of your life, and then you'll roll over to
City. And the fact that you're fresh and you've got nearly a full
that's a good
there
point.
you go.
That played into our hands. However, this season we've been worse when we haven't played for a while. To be totally honest with you,
anything goes, form goes out for weeks.
It's
all about what happens on the day. And annoyingly enough, I can see us making some silly mistakes again. I hate to sound like this, but the thing is, I've been here before. And as much as things have been better this season, and I do think we're a better team this season and better team than we have been since the Invincibles, because now we're actually going full throw. But oh man,
I mean, we haven't lost to any of the top 6 teams.
I'm confident we'll beat Bournemouth, Man United, and Everton. I reckon we'll win all 3.
Just this game, innit, man?
It's this game.
But at the same time, look, we can do an Arsenal thing. We can beat Tottenham at the weekend and then not beat Bournemouth the following week.
We will beat Bournemouth. We will beat Bournemouth.
I think we will. But I'm just
we will. Those last 3 games, I'm confident we win.
You'll beat United.
This game.
Oh yeah, I think we'll beat United as well.
Do you know what? I think if you guys win this game, right, and I'm honestly saying this, and I said it last night on another show, if you win this game, I think that you'll win the league. Honestly,
but where does City drop?
They're not going to drop any points.
I think either Fulham away or us away. Honestly, right? Because they go on these mad runs.
Fulham against Liverpool. I'm sorry.
I know, but they go on these mad runs every season. But this season, whenever I've watched them, apart from the occasional game, they've gotten away with a lot of results. And like
they've been bad, but they've got the job done.
Yeah,
That's what
right.
they do, and they will continue to do.
And you know what? And you know what happens when it gets towards the end of. I said this about Liverpool a lot this season. When
They're jammy. There's no two ways about
they
it.
add on. They will add on like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and then City will score.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
it.
think if they beat us,
They find a way every time.
Yeah.
But I think
Also, I'm not ready for when Pep Guardiola leaves as well. And look,
Yeah.
I can't wait until it happens. Don't get me wrong. The day it happens, brilliant.
Yeah.
But the moment they announce Pep Guardiola that he's leaving Manchester City, what do you think City are going to do? All the refs, all the officials going to be in their back pocket, game after game, like
100%.
Liverpool. And I know they're not going to win the league and their luck eventually run out, but it's City. Let's be honest. If Liverpool were challenging for this league title, I would feel a lot more confident that we will be winning this league. It's just a shame we're up against
I know.
like robot NPCs.
And this is what you have to do now to win titles, whether we like it or not. We can stress about
All we're asking for is just to make City work for it.
Yeah, just win all our games.
All you can do is win all your games.
That's
There's
all we
no
can do.
regrets
Just
that
keep
way.
the pressure,
all you
keep
can do.
the pressure on, and then
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll feel like a missed opportunity again.
They
if we
play
stop
after us,
you
don't
doing
they?
it, though, if we stop you, oh my goodness.
No, it's
I
possible.
just imagine it. Tomorrow,
It'll be unbearable. And then you'll have every Spurs. They'll be going on about this throughout all next week.
Yeah.
All next week will be unbearable.
You really needed City to progress in the Champions League. There's extra games they would have been able to focus on that. But I think it's huge for them that they've gone out in a way, as silly as it sounds, with full focus on the league. There's no what about if they get injuries in this or that, and they had a few players on the verge of like getting knocks and that, your Walkers, etc. But they've got less games ultimately.
Unless if they lose Rodri in these.
That's my only hope.
Or if he gets suspended.
He's the one. He's the one.
Yeah.
It's only Rodri that makes an
takes
impact for me.
from
No
him.
other player does.
No, if Harden goes, it doesn't matter. If Foden goes, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's Rodri.
If Diaz
Just
or
Rodri.
Walker goes, doesn't matter. It's only Rodri that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, facts. Spot on, lads. Look, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this with you guys today. Let's shout out everyone's channel. I'll start with you, Robbie, bro. Where can they find you, of course? And where you got content coming up?
Me?
Robbie.
Robbie.
Sorry.
Oh.
Robbie.
Right, okay, yeah. Over at Lily White Lane, Tottenham content. If you want to see a Spurs fan get fairly frustrated tomorrow if we go on to lose as an Arsenal fan, that's your place to be, like Harry's channel. But yeah, Lily White Lane, if you do want to check it out. I know I'm flogging a Spurs channel and an Arsenal one, but I hugely appreciate it if you guys could just pop over, drop us a sub and a like. And yeah, it's been a pleasure coming on. I don't like a lot of Arsenal fans, but Seth, Rory and Josh, you're top lads, and it's good to talk. Yeah, Harry as well, good to see you as always. And yeah, you may not see me again this season if you guys end up winning the league and beat us tomorrow. So that's
big up Rory, man.
Life will move on.
Yeah, big up Rory, man. Honestly, bro, absolute real one every single time. Always welcome on this channel, man. So yeah, big up to you, Harry, bro. Thanks, first time on the channel as well. Just shout out where people can find you and the content you got coming up as well, bro.
Yeah, thank you, Josh, for having me, and thank you, Robbie, Rory, and Sebastian as well for letting me share the stage. They got there in the end tonight. So thank you very much, and obviously really looking forward to the game tomorrow. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can. Scarfy Spurs. So I don't expect any Arsenal fans to be looking out for the Spurs content, but that's why there's a Premier League show every Wednesday evening, and we've got Arsenal fans on, Newcastle fans, United fans from every single club up and down the Premier League table. As you know, it's not hosted by myself. It's hosted by Orist as they kind of dissect the previous game. We can preview the next. In terms of content-wise, match previews out. There'll be a matchday vlog matchday vlog Monday. Sunday night will be a match reaction, and Monday night 7:45 p.m. will be the match reaction show as we dissect it. So yeah, thank you very much for having me on. And as I said yesterday on Luca's channel, I usually at the end of every rival show, I go good luck for the rest of the season after the game, but when it comes to Arsenal, it's quite hard to say that. All I can say is enjoy the game, Kind of.
Yeah.
Make the best
Yeah,
of
enjoy
it.
the
Thank you
game,
very
innit?
much.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
worries at all, bro. Yeah, no worries at all, Harry, bro. And guys, listen, go to their channels, write in the title, take you right. It's a blue app, takes you right to there. Give them a sub.
Thank you.
And yeah, big
Cheers,
respect for them
guys.
coming on as well. But yeah, Arsenal fans, Seb, obviously, shout. You got any articles coming up this week?
Might have one next week. I think it'll mainly depend on how tomorrow goes. It depends what it will be on, but there should be one next week, hopefully.
Nice one, man. And Rory, bro, how what about you in terms of content?
I don't know. Perhaps match reaction tomorrow. I haven't done a couple in recent days because OBS has been playing up, so I haven't really had the freedom to actually upload any match reactions recently. But I think it's all fixed now. I can actually sit down and seeing as it is at 2 p.m. I don't know why they've scheduled it for 2 p.m. and put Manchester City on.
Yeah.
Although it could come in our favour because we're playing before Man City. So, yeah, look, I think that's it really. Match reaction on Sunday. Not only OBS has been playing up recently, but I've been very busy lately. I've had this movie hanging over me over recent weeks, so I've been trying to get that done. So I'm not far off filming that, so that should be out in the coming months. So yeah, I would say all the best for tomorrow, but yeah.
All the worst.
We're rivals, isn't it?
All the worst.
Yeah, we all talk. Worst of luck tomorrow, and I hope you lose loads of matches. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. No, big up, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure today. Big up everyone in the chat as well tuning in. I did pin all your comments up on the screen, people. But yeah, big up everyone who tuned in today on both channels as well, because obviously Harry was multi-streaming as well. So big up everyone coming over from Harry's channel as well. But yeah, we're getting out of it, guys. We all know what it means tomorrow. Match reaction up straight after the game, people, and we'll see you then. Come on, you Gunners. We're out.
Come on, you Gunners.
Thanks.